with big dicks in the women's locker room. And that's why I'm getting kicked out.
Are you?
Did you tell me or not that women like to see dick?
I'm asking you a question.
Exactly. Get out of the way now. No. Now he knows how to be a man, right? Now he knows how to be a man.
Wokeness is so regressive that now a black lesbian who complained about a male, a grown white male in her gym locker room, who is male, looks male, acts male, clearly isn't trans in any sense of the word, and this dumb gym kicked her out.
Stay out of the women's locker room. We don't want it. He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that. And the woman told you. He assaulted me. The girl told already. We already filed reports. No.
That's fine. I want the video.
You can't get rid of me for this.
Welcome to the sane side of the conversation, Tish. We welcome black lesbians here. We love people that are pro-common sense. This is what happens when you allow males to take over feminism. Here's how we got here. Keep in mind, this is not an isolated story. This is what feminism has turned into. Feminism started about being for women's rights, for equal pay, for giving us equal opportunities. And for a while, we were doing pretty well. We were seeing a ton of women empowerment campaigns. We saw Kamala Harris become the first ever president, I should say, women's vice president of the United States. Hello, I'm Joe Biden for a second. And, regardless if you agree with Kamala or not, of course I don't, I still think it's important to recognize that feminism is something that helped her get there. Then over the past 10 years, we started fighting for something new, trans rights. Who were the first people to speak up for them? Women, of course, and I guess the gays. Generally speaking, we are the more empathetic sex, and actual transsexual people do deserve comfort and understanding and respect. So as long as it doesn't impede on our spaces and our rights, let's be clear. And for a while, we had that. We had women and trans people coexisting, respecting each other's boundaries. We understood that feminism meant fighting for women and not men in eyeliner who get caught with a bottle of lube in a women's bathroom. Literally just happened a few days ago.
No! Fuck the fuck, bitch!
That shit! You was watching my friends!
These motherfuckers are
You see! I should punch you in your fucking face.
I really should!
You dead ass? You dead ass? You
We're not
really
dead
dead
ass.
ass? Fucking bathroom?
Then sometime around 2020, we got so woke that our brains fell out. Feminists and gender ideologues and queer activists started really pushing the trans agenda, really started pushing gender ideology.
If you're gonna be a bigot with your whole ass chest. You'll have to forgive me, Pumpkin. My particular flavor of neurospiciness prefers bluntness. They, them isn't a singular pronoun bullshit that you're spouting is wrong, cutie.
Trans women are women. Anyone can be a woman. No passing required. Congrats, feminism. You played yourself. People began posting videos of letting their drunk hang out without shame.
It is disrespectful when you call a transgender woman he. But if I called you a name, you wouldn't like that, would you?
This era most famously brought us people like Jessica Waxman. I can't even say without laughing. Jessica, Wax My Balls, Unive, Dylan Mulvaney, Lily Tino. We began seeing the symptoms of social media rewarding narcissism. And this brought on the idea that, well, since trans women are women, they should be treated as women in every single situation possible. Even if they are literally male in every sense of the word, that every sane eye can see. That's how we got here. Andino did a little bit of research and said that he has identified the trans person that Tish ran into in the women's locker room in LA. The man's name is Grant Kyle Freeman. He uses the trans name Alexis. Tish was banned from the gym for not tolerating the man in the women's changing area. He also has a criminal record. Why am I not surprised? Of course, this is not the first time this has happened. It has been happening for years. The videos we've seen always go viral on X. Tish recently spoke out about this in a video of her own.
Now, I'm not telling anybody to be Republican or Democrat or anything, because I'm neither. I'm just a woman who's standing up for women's rights, and I don't give a fuck what you are. If you're a Republican, a Democrat, I don't care if you support Trump or Kamala. I don't give a fuck. All I need is people to come together for one thing. It's to help women, to save women. Women! Women! Not men with dicks and dresses. Women! Okay? Now, what do I think about trans? I don't think about trans. I'm a lady. I don't give a shit about trans. I don't give two about if a person wants to be this or that or what the ever, bro. But you know what? Do that shit outside the locker room.
Of course, leftists gave her a ton of shit. And the number of idiot feminist men that love to constantly tell women what's best for us weren't and aren't helping the situation at all.
I heard someone online recently argue that sports should be segregated by hormone levels.
Imagine the future of sports does not distinguish sex. It distinguishes and sorts people by hormone ratios. I'm making this up, but imagine that if that were the case. That would be interesting. You get a hormone test, if you're in this range, and then you compete against other people with the same range of hormones.
That's ridiculous.
That's
Neil, that is ridiculous.
Good idea or bad idea?
A terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
But remember, the sane people, like myself, have been speaking out against this for years. Queen J.K. Rowling said the number of men who don't see women as fully human can be measured by their indifference to trans-identified males invading women's spaces. What's the harm? Who's it hurting? Women. It's hurting women. And the essence of misogyny is thinking that doesn't count. Full agree. Now, let's be clear. If somebody does pass, does that mean that they shouldn't tell their sexual partners that they're trans? Because we've been talking about people that don't pass.
I know a trans woman who has had her downstairs done, and she's told me about dates that she's gone on with men. With these men, she has done everything that there is to do, and the men didn't know. First and foremost, that is a testament to modern medicine that it's even possible for that to happen. But it's also an interesting quandary because at that point, what are you even really disclosing? What is there to disclose? There's no deception.
No deception. This is literally what they believe because they believe the trans women are women. And if we are women, how are we deceiving anybody? Remember, even if they don't fully pass or even if they do fully pass, you have to treat them 100% as women. So much so that courts on record and police officers had to legally call people trans women females and use the pronoun she under rape cases. As I said for many years, I don't think the majority of these types of horrible people are trans women. I think they're males that are taking advantage of the self-identification system. As Angie said on X, why would a man go through all the trauma of transitioning just so they can enter female-only spaces to perv on women? They don't. They just say, I'm trans, and that's it. Feminism has been hijacked by men identifying as women, and they have completely erased almost everything that women have fought for. Boy George posted this in response to Tish's video. That's a woman? In response, Saul said, trans activists constantly insult women because they hate women, which just proves that they don't think men who claim to be women are women, as they would hate them as well. They know they're men, and they think men should be able to do whatever they want, especially at the expense of women. Again, this is what happens when you let men take over feminism. Serena said, trans ideologues will see a woman with the body of a Greek goddess and say she looks like a man while advocating for actual men to be able to violate her boundaries and consent. And these misogynistic fuckwads want you to believe that they're progressive. Again, this is what happens when you allow men to take over feminism.
Signing an executive order that pertains to 1% of the population is not protecting women. It's setting a dangerous precedent, and it is dangerous for the trans community, women, minorities, anyone who is not a straight white man.
But those who are about to say, like, this is 1% of the population, meaning trans women, no, this is about protecting 50% of the population, or I think actually more than 50% of the population, protecting women from males who are just calling themselves women to do shit like this. What's most crazy to me is that past 10 years or so, we've been told that leftism is supposed to lift up people of color, black women, lift up black women, raise black women's voices. They said to protect black women, but when it really mattered, silence. Tiffany said, I try to explain this all the time. Black lesbian, trumped by a white trans male. White girl, trumped by a brown immigrant male. White trans female, trumped by a black trans male. At every point of intersectionality, there exists a man whose needs/desires trump yours if you are female. This is what happened when you allow males to take over feminism. And this is what happens when you prop up absolute idiots to take over progressive politics. I truly believe that now, more than ever before, people are seeing why somebody like myself left the left 6 years ago. And no, babe, Trump and his cabinet and his followers are not the most transphobic in history, okay? We are just tired of the bullshit that makes no sense. We're over the you can identify as anything you want, and you must accept it rhetoric. Normal gays like Tish and myself and many of you watching are done with people like this, taking over the community and speaking for us. We're tired of men speaking for women, or speaking as women. This is not about left and right anymore. It's about who is willing to say what is real and what is true.